Hello everyone, my name is Shaderock, and this is the next part in a multi-part series where me and my friend PK Katsune are talking about our experiences in the game Final Fantasy XIV. Each one is split by expansion. If you want to see it from the start, there's going to be a playlist that will take you back to our thoughts on A Realm Reborn, and just keep in mind there will be spoilers ahead. Without further ado, let's get on to this video.
Boom.
Hello! Welcome to Stormblood!
Storm of blood, born of blood, of the fallen brothers.
If there's any expansion of Final Fantasy XIV that I'm going to say is without a doubt Japanese, it is Stormblood.
It is Stormblood. Like this legit is weeb country.
Yeah.
When you get into Stormblood.
Stormblood is split between two areas, the Far East and Gear-Abinia?
Gear-Abinia, I think is how it's.
Yeah, it's been a while since we played, so Stormblood.
I don't think they Gear-Abania?
I don't think they actually say it in the expansion, but the point is,
I don't think they specifically say it outright.
They
definitely say Alamigo a lot.
So I will say this, at least, and I believe you had the same opinion, Sean, that Stormblood, it's not bad, but the main issue is it drags and it tends to. It has a
Mary Sue.
It does have a Mary Sue, and it also has a running sentence problem, I guess. There are two revolutions back to back.
Yeah.
Which definitely does not help the story at all. Don't get me wrong, I think the characters are still pretty interesting. I think the environment is gorgeous.
Yeah.
And I think what was it called? The Tale of Heroes at the the 4.5, I believe to say, and onward up to 4.9. The Shadowbringer setup. I think that's very good.
Yeah. Okay, can I be perfectly honest about a specific person in particular when it comes to this expansion?
Well, since we've exited the free trial period and we're in expansion period, keep in mind, everyone, we put spoiler warnings.
Yeah.
Go ahead, say their name.
Okay. Lise is not well written.
Yeah.
She really isn't. There's a lot of people that going through Stormblood are going to have issues with Lise. Specifically the way that she is written.
Yeah.
And everyone has their own opinions of how Lise should be, how they want Lise to be, or if they just don't want Lise at all. And you know what? Everyone has a valid point in this whole thing that is Lise.
Yeah.
Like, I am usually a neutral person in terms of any debate, or at least I try to be.
You just don't like Lise.
I wish Lise was done better. That's what I want.
Yeah.
That's what I would have wanted. A better done Lise, who doesn't feel like she's just getting random powers out of her backside.
Nah, I agree there. I'll be honest, the later expansions, they kind of handled her a little bit better by putting her into a background role.
Yeah, she fits better as Commander Hexed rather than the leader of the rebellion.
Yeah. Yeah, Stormblood, if I am to be perfectly honest, in my opinion, I think... No, I said before, Realm Reborn is a slog, and that was just because Realm Reborn is just was long with its 200 quests. It felt a little bloated there, but it still was enjoyable. The story was good, and at least it felt like you were still doing things. Stormblood, in particular, because of the two revolutions back to back.
Which we can't really speak how that might feel because
personal opinions there.
Well, for one thing, yes, personal opinions there, but also we're Americans.
True.
So we don't. While we have our own issues in our country that we will not get into. We are not in a country that has had to deal with being occupied.
You know what it felt? You know what it was? It felt like I was reading French history. Look, the French Revolution was a mess. But it's
for anyone else that finds Stormblood to be one of your favorite expansions because you have lived in an occupied country.
More power to you.
That's valid. That's valid. I'm never going to say that anyone's opinions on an expansion or a game are invalid.
These are just our thoughts, as I said in the introductions to each of these videos.
Yeah.
It's our thoughts and experiences.
Yeah. Like
I know personally this is just why I feel is like a little, not even just in terms of like the revolutions and all, just overall story. I feel this was a little bit of a dip.
Just a slight dip.
Not like, don't get me wrong. Even though this is my least favorite, I still like it.
Yeah. Here's what I think my problem with Stormblood is. There's less focus on specific people.
It's more
until we get to the Asm step.
Yeah.
Until we meet up with Hien and start setting up that big breakthrough into Castle, into Castle Doma.
Yeah.
That is where it starts picking up.
Yeah, it honestly...
That's where I honestly feel like Stormblood is the strong part. Sorry.
No. It feels like Stormblood was more them trying to get to the revolutions than to actually do a lot of the build-up for the revolutions.
There's still build-up for the revolutions.
Yeah, but it's less about characters, it's more about like supplies or, you know, that stuff.
Which any revolution needs that.
Yeah, no, I do agree there, but
I just wish there was more build-up for Lise as a character.
Yeah.
Because the pre-Stormblood expansions do this big twist for Lise, where she's revealed to have been just disguised as Ida this entire time. Which means that we've never actually met the original Ida as players from 2.0 onwards. So I can understand why people may feel like that's just a bit of a cop-out. You never meet the original Ida, so how can you feel like you have a connection to this Lise person who's been just pretending to be Ida? I can understand someone having an issue with that.
And like, here's the thing. I can never say I truly hate... Like I said, I will never say I hate Stormblood above all. It's my least favorite, but it also introduced my favorite class and my main until Endwalker comes around.
It is introduced one of, I'd say, my favorite normal raid questline.
I do agree there. So first off, let's start with the jobs. The jobs were Samurai and the Red Mage.
And, well, there's one other class, but that doesn't entirely count.
Yeah, because that was a limited job, let's be honest.
Okay, but it's still a job nonetheless.
There was also Blue Mage, which really wasn't part of the expansion because you don't need Stormblood to play it.
Yeah.
It became as extra side content to do.
Yes, and it is one of the most busted pieces of content in the game. But I mean, it's a Blue Mage. That's bound to happen whenever Blue Mage shows up in Final Fantasy. Blue Mage is notorious for being a busted
And
job.
Red Mage is the fastest caster in the game, and also is an amazing Res Mage.
Yes. There's a reason that instead of calling them red mages, we just call them res mages. Because that's what they're really doing during raids.
I gotta step out really quick.
Okay.
Okay, we're back from that cut.
The other new class, though, that was introduced was Samurai.
Do you want to share your thoughts on Samurai, or should I start with mine? Because I think with the striking class, you made Monk more than Samurai.
Played more of Monk, yeah.
Samurai, best way to describe it, and Sean, you've experienced that, so I think you might be able to agree with this. Monk Light.
Yeah.
It's not nearly as combo complex as Monk. There are still some tricky combos, but it's a friendlier DPS class, if I'm going to be honest, for melee side of things.
Yes, it is.
While there are positionals, they aren't really going to increase damage. They will increase the building of the 1 gauge, which by level 80, it builds itself up so much faster. Still wary about them, but it's not like Monk.
It's not as necessary as Monk when it comes to positionals.
Yeah, you don't need to oh my god, I need to flank this boss, but I'll be in the AoE or some stuff like that. Mostly builds up the Kenki gauge, and the gauge can also be built up from meditation, which at level 80 you get a skill that procs when you use meditation or another skill 3 times.
Yeah.
So
sorry.
Pick and choose your battles. It's a pretty decent melee class. I actually personally enjoy it. It's also, I think it's the only physical DPS that actually uses a sword.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
I mean, unless you want to count Tontos, but
I was gonna say, those are more
just really, really sharp knives.
Yeah. I don't know, we're probably gonna get a bunch of Sam memes going, oh no, it's not Monk Light, it's a lot more complex, blah blah blah. It's look, we're oversimplifying a lot of stuff. I could go on for
you gotta oversimplify things.
I could go on for an hour for how the complexities of playing a red mage.
Yeah, I know you will.
But let's talk about the 2 raids. Both the Alliance raid and the solo raid are actually really good.
Oh, the normal raid, Omega. So, this is a lot more plot relevant than, say, Alexander was, I'd say.
Yeah.
Because we're directly responsible for Omega.
That's
fair to say.
Fair enough. It's also with Omega itself, all the stages are just direct copies of Final Fantasy bosses from the past, all from games with Omega.
And it does end a certain bit involving Grandpa Midgar Somer.
Yep.
So, I will say, play it, because it actually has some relevance.
Yeah, I will admit this, the Omega raid was one of the reasons why I actually picked up Final Fantasy XIV.
Yeah.
Because one of the first bits of footage I saw for Final Fantasy XIV was the end of...
The last part of
Sigma.
The Sigmascape, yeah.
Yeah, which is a boss who is very familiar to this channel, because we just got done another playthrough with him. It's great.
Just start dancing mad like a clown.
It's just a giant reference to a bunch of different Final Fantasy titles. It's great, and we got to kill Chaos before that other fucker. Look, say what you might about that game. The memes are great.
Oh yeah, no. Bullshit. Starts playing Limp Bizkit on his phone.
I once had our entire MC convinced that I had an affair with Chaos just to kill him and that I'm everyone's mother.
Okay then.
And then I killed Santa Claus.
You stir up some crazy stuff in the FC.
Yes, I do. It's fun. We have fun here.
I thought the Blue Wedding was bad enough, but jeez.
I think I saw footage of that. But it is an interesting raid, but then there's the Alliance raid. I love the story of the Alliance raid. I have problems with the Alliance raid.
Yeah. The mechanics of a lot of the bosses of the Alliance raid, the Return to Evilise raid as it is, are very interesting and very complex.
Annoying.
But they're also very complex.
One has you doing math equations well timed, which, oh god, fun.
Like, you actually need to focus on your HP bar for that part, and that's what trips people up a lot.
Then there's the sniper, which really, once you know what you're doing, that's not too bad, but
Yeah.
It has killed many a sprout.
I'd say, yeah, fighting Mustadio was the rougher part of my first time. And then there's Thunder God Sid. There's Thunder God. Trying to fight the Thunder God for your first time. Oh, if you don't have anyone to explain how to dodge each of his specific swipes, you're gonna die at some point.
It's so fun.
There are very obvious tells. Once you know the tells, then you can dodge it just fine.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
it's all about having to deal with that learning experience, and I mean, we've dealt with learning experiences, all right.
True. Also, if you do plan on building the resistance weapons from Shadowbringers, you need to run Return to Evilise.
Yeah, you're gonna be running Return to Evilise and Void Arc.
All of them.
And even Crystal Tower. You're gonna be running raids.
It's still story content. You need to complete Return to Evilise to start the resistance weapons.
Heck, yeah, to even start them. Because there is one NPC in particular who becomes plot relevant to the development of the resistance weapons.
And then there's also
yeah, I'd say the resistance weapons are actually kind of important for a different character.
But I think
mainly
we'll
for just getting that first. Yeah.
Because there's one more area we need to talk about, because this is the first time that they had another area introduced outside of the raids and the story contents with patches.
No.
Did it have its
Diadem existed.
Huh?
Diadem.
I forgot the Diadem existed. I was going to talk about Eureka.
Yeah, Eureka. The thing is, Diadem got taken out to be heavily reworked.
And just hasn't reappeared?
No, it's back. It came back as of, it's been back since freaking... Since, Firmament.
Oh, then yeah, no, I just haven't gone to check it out.
Yeah, you need to talk to a specific NPC that'll let you go up there.
Okay, I'll have to go check that out. But yeah,
It's purely for crafting and not crafting, but gathering classes.
Yeah, no wonder I haven't done it yet. But yeah, with this one we got new DPS areas new combat class areas called Eureka.
Eureka. The return of a lot of Final Fantasy XI players' PTSD.
Okay, so I have not finished Eureka. I believe I'm the furthest among us in it.
Out of our gaggle of
misfits
adventurers, yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm the furthest. I've reached the second area. Eureka's actually a lot of fun.
I need to go back in there at some point.
Because go.
It certainly seems interesting, and there are a lot of rewards that I want to get from there. If
you're a fan of old school MMOs like RuneScape, WoW Classic, ones where you don't get a map, you have to build it, you have to do call-outs, you have to find everything. It's a lot of fun. It is very much a classic MMO experience.
At some point, we need to tell our friend Kingfisher about that.
Yeah.
Because he's been wanting to know, okay, is there any areas I can't remember the name of it. There's this one area in WoW that was just purely you find out a lot of it by just traveling through it.
That's Eureka.
Yeah.
And don't worry, some people like that aspect of Eureka, some don't. I found it interesting. I spent a lot of time in Eureka. It's probably the area I spent the most amount of time in outside of the not Stormblood, the Shadowbringer one. The only thing I will say is I've seen footage of the final area, and it is PTSD for Final Fantasy XI players.
Can't wait to fight Absolute Virtue.
I wanted Spear. But
I mean, that's fair.
yeah, I think that kind of sums up our thoughts on Stormblood, though. The extra content, like the raids, the jobs, the fucking Eureka, there's a lot of good in Stormblood.
Now, just gonna mention this here. We don't know everything about this game.
We miss a lot, yeah. There's also...
We have our collection of stuff that we do, but we don't, like... I want to become an Omnicrafter at some point, but I'm also afraid of becoming an Omnicrafter.
I'm a combat person through and through. I don't have the patience for crafting.
Like, I'm nearing level 60 crafting, but it's a slow process for me.
Yeah. We miss a lot. Like, we don't really do a lot on the extreme ends when they're brand new. We like, we don't play like the high end stuff. But yeah, it's still.
I mean, I've done a current content extreme trial, and that was good to experience.
Which one did you do?
I need to do more of that, but I need somebody else there with me if I'm gonna be doing that.
If I may ask, your current content, was it 5.9 current content?
You mean
it
was one of the weapons.
Okay, yeah, because the extreme trial I did was the fairy.
You did high end content.
Yeah.
Technically.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, no, but no, it was still extreme at the point when it came out.
Yeah.
Like, it was still in its own category and all that stuff when we did it.
Yeah. But it was specifically listed as high end when it was relevant.
Yeah.
And you did that with the FC, so.
Oh, you did this with randos?
No, I did this with.
Wait, yeah, you were telling me you did with
Yeah, I did with her.
You know, if I...
We're not naming names because that's identifying information.
We're okay saying, like, for example, Kingfisher, because he's another streamer who we've actually featured on the channel before and have a link to his channel.
Yeah.
That's someone who's, like, he's been a partner of the group.
He's a friend of ours.
Yeah. He's been a partner and
And while the person that I played Ruby Weapon Extreme with is a friend,
they are not.
I'm not gonna just say their name.
But you know, if I honestly say though, my final opinions, if I had to rate the expansions, I gotta go Stormblood, Realm Reborn, Heavenward, and then Shadowbringer.
Shadowbringers. You are one of those people that lists Shadowbringers above.
I'll be honest.
And you know what? I'm with you there.
I was gonna say, it's the ending of Shadowbringers. That's what really does it.
Yeah.
If you'd ask me just pure on release, I gotta go Heavensward, but with the...
But it's... 5.3 is the true end of Shadowbringers.
It's so good. We'll get to that, though, with the next one. But, Stormblood isn't bad. Like, it's definitely my least favorite of them. But... I think overall my main issue just comes with, as say before, the Lease and the two Revolutions back to back. If they had handled them more smoothly, I don't think I'd have as negative opinion on that.
Again, I just wish Lease had some more build up as a character into the leader figure rather than it kind of just being thrust upon her because Conrad died.
Yeah. But with all that,
and Conrad dying had no impact whatsoever for me,
especially coming off of Heavensward.
Yeah.
But with that though,
I didn't get to know Conrad really.
True.
Like, and a lot of people forget about Conrad.
I forgot he existed.
Yeah, you did.
Like, I legitimately forgot who Conrad was, so you still talk about it, and I'm like, oh wait, yeah, that was a character.
Yeah.
Like, I actually just Googled it on my phone.
Like, Ehrenwald was more of somebody that I wanted to see more of. And Fordola, too, for that matter.
There was...
Like, and not to mention Yotsuyu and... Oh, fuck, I forget her Rogan fuck toy, basically.
The only thing
I'm not talking about Gosetsu, because Gosetsu's great, but I'm talking about that one guy that would just kept beating up.
Yeah, the only thing I will say, like, okay, that was weird. I don't know why I just stopped recording. The only thing I will say, that to wrap up my thoughts on Heavensward, I also wasn't really a big fan of the armor sets.
Heavensward or Stormblood?
Not Heavensward, Stormblood, my bad. Stormblood, Heavensward had great armor sets, but that's also because I'm more of a fan of plate over...
Cloth.
Look back to the cloth aspect for this area.
No, that's fair.
It felt like a downgrade.
I will say that I appreciate us finally getting a Diable Orthodox Code of Fending.
We also got that in, what's it called? No, not Orthodox. We got the, Diable and, Shire gear. Like, new Diable Shire coats in Shadowbringers.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought that was just augmenting.
Well, yeah, no, there's slightly different styles, from that one dungeon with the water boss at the end.
Okay.
You know what I'm talking about. Yeah, but with that, though, we will end it. We will see you all next time for the discussion about the other critically acclaimed expansion.
Right.